Afternoon, everyone. Afternoon, trading Marines. Got a new name there, Albert. I don't know if you're new to the trading room. If you are, welcome. You'll get support from us. You can just, any questions, just put on the chat line. If you want to unmute, you can interact verbally, of course, if you want. And yeah, anything you're not sure of, it's a forum. It's not a class, it's a forum where we all discuss and we learn from each other. So maybe the beginner, intermediate, or or experienced. Just remember, if you don't know what a lot size is, you don't know some of what a share is, might be an idea to go to a couple of basic classes first, or you might be a bit confused. And join me on that one, by the way. Most of us are anyway. Especially some of the movements of the markets can be just that. But yeah. I don't know, talk about Sod's Law, but use the one you don't take, the one that takes off and does the best. I think we've all been okay, so yeah. I always feel, it's, for me anyway, I'm quite emotional, upbeat when you know the trades are going well. It's always, oh, good, no, they're not. You know, you want to think, hang on a minute, maybe I'll clean my dog up to do the TR instead and plead insanity. I'm off sick mentally or something, but yeah. Well, I'll tell you what the best trades normally are, the ones you're convinced are rubbish. Forget it, don't do that one. And the worst ones, you're absolutely convinced this is near a guarantee as damn it. That's called Sod's Law. Well, it is, it works that I find anyway. I mean, who would have thought Saudi Arabia beat Argentina and they go and win the World Cup? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind being Messi right now. I don't think he'd have to buy a drink tonight somehow. Do you see on the post on Facebook, the crowds in Argentina, Buenos Aires or wherever it was, I think it was Buenos Aires, somewhere anyway in Argentina. You've never seen anything like it. I mean, there was literally, I think, half the people on the planet were there, not just Argentinians. Never seen a crowd like it. Looked similar to when VE Day, well, I wasn't alive then, don't get cheeky, at the 1945 came out. It was unbelievable. I think it even outdid the 1995 World Cup win by South Africa. It's unbelievable. So I suppose escape from basically Argentina, again, like most of the time, was a bit of a mess, but maybe an escape from the sort of daily woes. I don't know. Unbelievable. Yeah, we actually got four. The fourth one is the one we've got up at the moment, which gave a bit of jip earlier on, but it went up about 30 pips against us, but now it's back. What are we getting at? I think it's about break even. Yeah, I've got it 47, so it's about break even at the moment. Or are 30? Yeah, it's past 4 o'clock, okay? Yeah, about break even at the moment. So that one's, we'll see. It might come right, but break even is not exactly a horrendous cataclysmic disaster. But the other one's not bad at all. Before we go on to them, let's talk about the dollar rand. Quite rightly, Ramaphosa, no surprise there being restored. Remember, it's all emotion, euphoria, but who else is going to put him discussing for a while? So, oh yeah, he's been in there now, and he suddenly gets a jump in the rand, you know what I mean? Yeah, but the problems are still there. You can probably hear the background noise, and if you can hear it, that's with Jenny. House sitting at the moment. I've got at my place, clearly I don't have a Jenny, I don't need one. I've got a, inverter, but I've got Jenny on here. And yeah, so the load shedding is still continuing, you know what I'm saying? So once you get a bit of euphoria out, you can settle down, and everyone else is jumping up and thought, let's just enjoy the euphoria. Yeah, great. You know, I'd rather have him in charge than a couple of others I can think of, which I don't want to get into trouble and mention. But having said that, the problems haven't suddenly disappeared. So I think there's some upside here. Remember what I mentioned? If you want to take it, it's 650 odd plus minus is the margin on a micro, and it's about 20 odd pips or just under that. It's the cost. Having said that, if you can afford it and you understand that, I think there's some upside on this one. I'm not sure the Ramaphosa euphoria is going to continue that long. It's going to back the same, which it was yesterday and the day before. You know what I mean? If suddenly haven't got somebody wonderful in charge who's going to dramatically lead the nation into prosperity over the next year or two, no. So yeah, and the dollar's strengthened a bit. I see some upside here. It's a good day, my help. See some upside here, back down to the bottom of the range. Is it not too far to take it down there? It might be. Let's just put one up and see. because the extra couple of decimal places confuses me, never mind you guys. Let's try down here to start with. I don't think we get a risk reward. We can play around 17.65. Still think it's going to get 18. If that Moody's kicks in, it'll definitely get to more than 18. Trust me. 665. Just about squeeze it there. Just about squeeze it there. 244. It's the only problem. It's 244. If you want a tighter one, you can do, but I think it's probably wise to stick with that stop loss. Rather the wider stop loss, and even if the lower risk reward and a higher per micro job than getting it tight, getting stopped out, and you're right in the first place. So yeah, I think there's a possibility on that one if you can afford it. The Pitbull. I've heard it called a lot of things, but I like it. I have to say though, on an emotional, subjective bias level, I love pit bulls. I found them incredibly affectionate animals, etc. And anyone who said anything other than that, I can say put any kid and put them up in a horrendous upbringing where they're taught to kill and fight and bred to kill and fight and have a terrible, terrible psychological upbringing. Probably find that will go out and be a bit of a corrupted adult going forward. So it's, I hate to say, it's not the pit bull. It's usually the good old Homo sapien. It's us is the problem, not the dog, the horse, the cow, the alligator, the tiger. Oh, it's us. And for every shark that takes out a human, but a few million taken out by the sharks taken out of the human, you get the idea. So rather than don't swallow what the press says, it's not the 10-year-old's fault, it's the adult's fault. And Homo sapiens are supposed to be adults. Okay, let's do this one. Let's get it down. What are we getting in at? 17.253. 17.253. Don't worry about the last couple of decimal points. I'll just confuse the issue. 17.029 and then 17.650. I will not be sending that out on the group, guys. That's just the trading room. Like I won't be sending Nazzle down the group. There's a lot of guys on the group. We've got some money. I'm happy for them having that money, but they're not coming to trading as much as they should be. So as a result, they don't know the differentials we discussed, contract size, what you need, and they'll just jump in and they've got too small account, even 2.5 is too small for the NAS. And they'll misunderstand it, get the stompy, not have the full facts at fingertips, you know, buying the media headline without reading the full story job. If they're getting a tangle on it, they get margin call, it's still, because it pulls back a bit and it goes on, reach the destination, they're all upset. And I don't sound lazy, but I've got to pick up all the bloody hassle that goes with it. Not nastily, but it's time consuming. Because bottom line is they just don't understand the basics. They're trading without understanding the basics. And that's why I do push it hard in the trading room. It's amazing how many guys, when you come to the trading room and you talk to them 2-3 weeks' time, they know more than about 85% of the clients have been trading for a few months. You know that fine, you'll probably back me up on it in a couple of years. More than the last month or two doing this than faffing around with hit and miss on your own. I know I did when I started. It took me years faffing around my own because nobody gave me a hand. So yeah. So this will stay in the trading room like the old Las Vegas joke. Yeah, we'll see how that works out. So yeah.
I must completely agree with you, Roger. Before I joined the trading room, I also faff around and depleted my count 3 times. So I know exactly what you're talking about. By basically just let emotions run in a trade rather than looking at the basics and go into the fundamentals as well.
Thank you, Farney. Hear what he had to say there. I wouldn't embarrass him to pick up facts on this scientist. Well, let's be honest. There's not very many thick scientists running around. So what does that tell you? It's not to do with your intelligence. This is not about getting a PhD or professorship in astrophysics. This is about getting some understanding of common sense and getting a little bit of that area put in. I'd rather have guys come in here with even a diploma in common sense and failing their astrophysics degree for this particular business, because this is not a great intelligent business. Oh, thick as two short planks. I'm not knocking myself here, but I mean, you know, it's more common sense. And there's too many guys running around with, you know, splitting the atom, PhD, no problem at all. You know, I mean, and then they can't get them a trick in common sense. Common sense is where it's at, and that's quite common. And as I said before, remember I posted it, that American YouTube thing, emotion always leads to logic. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're an actuary, a PhD, or a simple person that fails standard 5. It's such an exam. You take it standard 5. Emotion is everything. And when it comes to money and the opposite sex, that's when the emotion takes over the most. And that's why we pack our bags and close the lid on the logic and let the emotions run free. And that's what comes back and bites. So the idea is, again, if you get the volumes right, you're annoyed rather than hurt. It goes against you because you can afford the knock if it occurs. It's within your budget. Okay, all right, you blew 100 Rand on a beer yesterday instead of 50, you're ripped off. You're annoyed, but hopefully it's not going to throw you out of house and home. That's the idea. Okay, and that's the whole point where I try to get guys coming here. But you'd be absolutely astounded how many guys are trading without even looking at the course they bought or even buying a course. I've had guys say, no, I don't want to buy a course and do this on my own. They put in about 300-400 Rand and they start fighting the international Forex and share market. I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say. And for me, that's quite an achievement, as you can probably guess. It is staggering. And what it is basically, well, it's not that staggering, it's understandable, is trying desperately for nothing. I don't want to give, I want to take and hope it works for the best. Forget that. You've got some idea what you're doing. And I've written it down, so a couple of guys read, so that's fine. See how it works out. I'm going to pick on Pietro, and I think Pete's in here at the moment. Pete, will admit he hasn't done this that long. I'll bet you anything. Pete knows more about trading than over 90% of our thousands of clients. It'd be staggering. Guys who go to the trading room, I filled in the trading room as one of the guys on leave or whatever, had 6 people pitching up out of the thousands. We looked at the figures today. I know holidays have come in, but a guy like 2 are trading CFD class, 3 are trading Forex, but the thousands out there are trading. I mean, you know, I don't know whether that dollar rand is going to go up or down, so I have to take a viewpoint on it. But I do know what a position size calculator is. I do what a budget is, and you know, I do know those basics, and I think we should all be on top of that. And it's a lot easier than some of the things you probably study for in your own personal life. I think the Nasdaq's going to come off. Now, it's a very good point. Now, Viewer has not been doing it too long, and he's making a statement like that. Why is he making a statement like that? Because he's taken the trouble to sodding learn. Absolutely agree. Never mind, because I've been saying sell the rally. It's not up for yet, no. It's because look at the DXY. It's up. Look at the yields. Just going to come back again. The yields are right up. I've got an hourly chart. So Friday, what it was 3.4. It's now nearly 3.6. So up. That is it. So the higher the 10-year yields, note yields, and the higher the dollar, the more negative for gold and the indices and the resulting shares. Unless you get a brilliant share coming out because it had double the profit expectation, well, that will overcome that and go up. That's a fundamental. But otherwise, the overall effect is that. So yeah, I'm expecting some downside on the NAS, yeah. Okay. Before I go any further, unless you've got to trade as before, rule number 1. Yeah, I'm going to do that in a moment. Just give me 2 seconds, do that in a moment. I will stop immediately if you'll look at trade idea. We're already in those, come back in a moment. I just want to mention this confusion with account manager and trading support. Trading support is me. Sorry about that, guys, but that's the way it is. Me. So if you don't like me, tough. It's me. The account manager is the intermediary area. Now, a lot of guys will have a WhatsApp group and they're posting trade ideas out. That's quite fine because they're copy and pasting it from the MT5 platform for the guys. That's fine if they do that. Those trades are mine, by the way. However, I say, well, do you want to be in my WhatsApp group? So no, I'm quite happy with George or Mary because I want to get it from them. I hope they're not posting their own trade ideas because they're not allowed to. They are not qualified to post trade ideas out. Okay, They're account managers, they're intermediaries. They'll help you with, I don't know, setting up an account or whatever, or you want to know some bonus coming in or whatever. That they can help you with that. But if it's to do with trading advice or posting signals, they're not allowed. You've got to come to myself. Okay. So MT5 ones you see on there are mine. They have to be. If there's somebody else's, I've got to okay it, and it'll be posted by management. What's the advantage of mine? You're getting it, not a copy and paste from the MT5 mailbox. You're getting it fresh off the press. And sometimes I will send them out before the strategy room. I see one at 7 in the morning. You'll get it first thing. So it's often discussed in the strategy room, like, I might get it out at that time. I might have 4 out. They might put 2, might put out themselves, and that's fine. Then they've got meetings and stuff to do at the office. So another one comes out at 11. They're not going to be sending out. It might, but it's very unusual. So you get a couple in the morning, now and again, that's it. It's limiting. Okay, so it's wise, if you can, to bear that in mind, get $2.5 grand upwards, and then you can handle the signals being sent, and then you can do the job properly. Because it's not just saying we're trying to get more bucks off you, it's trying to say you're in a capitalist industry and you're undercapitalized with too little money. If that's all you can afford, I understand that. But guys, I'm not going with that attitude. Guys think I'll put sod all in and get a lot out without knowing anything. And no, it's coming back and biting. You're undercapitalized. Do you go house hunting with 10 grand in the bank? Do you go car hunting with 1 grand in the bank? No, you don't. But you might find a house, but probably a few holes in it. You might find a car. But will he get you out the garage before you're going to go back to the mechanic? You get the idea. You need the capital to do it properly. And if you can up it, great. 2.5 grand is the barest minimum. You do more, even better. Even there, you can't touch the NASDAQ. But at least you'll be able to have some capital to actually go into 3 or 4 signals when they come out, like we had out today. You get the idea. Otherwise, you've got to say, right, I can only pick one, and I've got to flick a coin, which is, am I going to be lucky? And what happens if you pick the one out of them is a bad one? Well, because you didn't have enough capital to go all of them. And please remember the difference in a 500 to 1, 100 to 1 leverage. That doesn't give you the gift to jump in, going in big because the margin's small or deposit's smaller. It means you're asking for overexposure to get margin called. And even if the trade is correct, you'll be margin called and your position will be closed. You've got to get those. We go about it here. If you don't believe me, go to the presenters or what I know, go and get that or Google it. But no, don't try and think, I've got so little money, I'm going to try and up my leverage to make that little money go further. No, it'll come back and bite. There's no ways around it, unfortunately. You've got to know what you're doing, have the right equipment, and have a bit of common sense, a lot of common sense, and get your position size right. If those are out of sync, it's going to come back and bite. And don't think, well, I'll put 50 grand because you've got more money than you and start doubling up on everything. That'll come back and bite because you still don't know what you're doing. I'd rather have George there with 5 grand in the account, take the trouble what they're doing, than Bill, who has no idea what they're doing, thinking by having a bigger account will buy his way out. No, it'll just increase his losses. And it's not our fault. Sometimes the markets move against you. Of course they do. It's like buyers and sellers. But no, it's not that big difference on that and you're completely doing the wrong thing. Okay, so we'll go back on the trades. We'll start at the top, alphabetical. CAD JPY. We got in at, thank you for reminding me that one, Jethro, this morning. Where is it? Oh, yeah. 99.50. Oh, yeah, 60 million. Let's get some, well, it's true. We've all had experience. Anybody who's been with me now for at least a month, maybe 2 months, won't put the hand up and argue. So I know you're talking rubbish. I still haven't been, this is what you're saying. I've been playing on Facebook. I've got 500 in my account and I made the last 20 trades correct and I'm just doing just fine. Don't think you get many of those. If you did, well, some people win the lottery, but the odds against it. You know what I mean? Okay. Don't try to get cute. The something for nothing brigade usually ends up paying money to somebody else. Right. Clearly it's up. Well, we 70 odd pips in profit, 75 in profit. Clearly we start moving. Don't want to get too close. I still like to ride a bit further. It's a chance could hit TP. So if you want, you can close you want, but I'm suggesting 99.90. 99.90. If you go on the same one as I mentioned this morning, you'll be 40 pips in profit. You stopped out. And if it hits TP, where's the TP? Where's the TP? 180. If it hits the TP, which is, there we are, around about level there, you'll be, well, even more in profit. If it takes out 150, then maybe we can move it up to 30 pips behind market price. But I think just keep it below the round figure for the time being. If it pulls back, we don't really knock you out and goes hits the TP. So I think 99.80, 99.90, bills in 40 pips. That's not a bad return in one day. Return in one day, remember, since this morning, if you get stopped out and if it continues up, what a increased pleasure. Okay, all got that? Can I move on? Remember, guys, it's a zero-sum game. There's guys out there, a lot of money, a lot of knowledge, a lot of fancy computer equipment. Do you think they got more of a chance than you with no knowledge, no a broken phone and squat capital and squat idea? You get my point. Let's go to CHF JPY first. That was in at 145.90. At 60 pips in profit, same story. We're going to have to break the 146 on this one. I think go 146.10. It'll be 20 pips. It's not great, but at least it's a profit if you get stopped out. But I still see some upside, so why not continue? There's a little bit of resistance here, which is faffing around on. I can see that. You can see the resistance there, it's fairly clear, eh? Don't have to particularly brilliant. So a little bit of resistance coming back. I think this might hold on the 1 hour before it moves up again. So there'll be a bit of dodging around, but it's a good chance to get the TP. Where's the TP on this one? 147.25. Yeah, round about this figure. It's a good chance of getting there. So we don't get stopped out and you miss out the extra profit. So don't get go to 146.10. All right, you haven't made much, but at least you made a profit if you stopped out. And then hang 5, you might do a lot better if you hold on. Okay, I'll certainly do that again. I just want to do the Japanese yen first. Well, the US dollar, Japanese yen first. Right, we got on this one at 136. I know it pulled back a bit earlier on today. What's the time now? 4, 3, 2, 1, 12, 11, 10, 9. Yeah, pulled back to about 2, pulled back a little bit. So some guys might have got a better price. But anyway, we mentioned at 136, the trade suggestion put out at 136. So I'll work on that base. You've got a better, you're laughing even more. What a pleasure. Yeah, we can modify again. Don't get it closer. The chance of maybe a bit more upside. The dollar seems to be doing okay. I'm going to make it a little bit closer than normal because the dollar is a bit iffy, to be honest. So instead of 40, I make it 30 pips from market or just over. So I think 136.30. So modify to 136.30. So you got a reasonable profit in there, whatever happens. And who knows, you might get a very, very handsome profit by sticking with it. So on all 3 of those, you're now going to be stopped out in a profit or hit your TP in a profit or close in a profit, profit being the operative word. Okay, clear the GBP CHF is the only one that's not, but it's not exactly, we'll have to look, it's going to knock me down now. Some sod's law might kick in. Yeah, I thought so. It's popped up again, but still it's down a little bit, but not a disaster. So stick with it, leave the thing at the moment and see if it can start coming down and joining the other profitable trades. But let's say it doesn't. 3 out of 4, that is happy days, happy, very happy days. So this is going to be the bonus we get 4 out of 4. You get the idea. And remember the other ones, the gold, the S&Ps and all the other stuff we had the last week, they've all done well. So we'll forget about them, they've all done well. So at the moment, we're in a situation, 3 winners, 1 at the moment is iffy, but it's not a disaster. Okay, so leave that one. Right, this is the 200 day. On the moment, that's a 201 hour. It works all charts, okay? So that's a 50 day. Where's the 200? Should be up here somewhere. Yeah. There's a 200, okay? So put in a 200 simple moving average, the 50 simple moving average, and the 10 simple moving average. All simple, make it a bit thicker the line, and then right-click, go to templates, and don't remove it. Save the template, put your name in, or whatever name you want to put in there, and click on save, you saved it. So you lose your charts, go right-click, templates, and then you pick it off down there, and your charts are back up and running. This is my choice. These 2 are internationally used, so very important. And if you have those 2 on, concentrate support resistance, understand the fundies a bit more, understand the economic calendar a bit more, understand the calendar showing the buyers and sellers, understand the concept that buyers and sellers are tussling it out, get your position size calculator, don't overexpose. you're well on your way. The rest is cherry on the top. Most of that cherry on the top, I'm ignoring anyway. You're only complicating something, doesn't need to. Do you really need to do a racing change? As long as you can change gear, you know what I mean? I mean, majority of people come into this is like a car mechanic. Do you want to be a car mechanic or get in the car, be able to drive it safely to your daughter's wedding and wherever you want to go? That's primarily what people want to do with this. If you want to take it further than some of all the other fancy bits and pieces, you can if you like. But majority is basically changing gear, steering properly, obeying the speed limit, and stopping at robots. And yeah, you know, like I said, the basic stuff like that. Okay. It is slightly more common driving a car, I get you. But it's not exactly split the sodding atom job. It's not particle physics, put it that way. It's not quantum mechanics. Go to YouTube, sorry, PhD youngster going into quantum mechanics. Tell you what, my brain steam was coming out, I tell you. Is it doing okay? Because we got in on that just now. 25.3 we got in. It's that, ignore these two. 25.3, it's up slightly. Are you in it? Okay. Well, you might have gone a bit earlier because I know it might be. It might be as a spread or something. Remember the spread? You get on the ask or the buy, get out the sell. It might not have covered your spread. Remember, it's quite a wide spread on this for cost purposes, so might not have covered your spread. So let your sell catch up with the entry price, and then the buy price where you got in that, and then you break even. Yeah, it's an exotic, sort of a high spread, yeah. So yeah, that's why it's got to catch that up. But anyway, the buy's gone up, that's got to catch up. Where are we? We did it. We'll do it again. See if it's still there. 1702. 02. If you're in, you need to look at this. I'm wondering if you are, because you need this to tell you what size to go in. 17.65. Is that right? Yeah. So I think it's going to go higher. Don't forget, you always modify your TP if it goes better. Now, you can't chase it now. The risk reward's not going to work. Unless, if you want to make a tighter TP to 18, you can. I think there's a good chance it's going to get there. But I don't want to interfere with the stop. I'd rather interfere with the TP if you want a better risk reward. But that's where it is at the moment. We got him as about 230, I think it was, per micro. Good. Okay, so what I do, I've got a moment here, some copy and pasting. I'm going to put the dollar index for you. Those who haven't got it, brand new. Now you'll have it. So save it, minimize it, keep it. When you're trading, you want to keep it minimized to check it out. No fundamentals today of any note. I filtered it to more important ones. If you want to filter it to others, that's your choice. But I'll post anyway, play around with it. There you are. So you got those two. If you haven't got it, keep it. There you are. There's a chance. You know how to get the calculator go to your, on the laptop, that is, go to the live chat, tech support, and they'll get it downloaded for you. Okay, make sure you got that. That is not for shares. Shares coming in 3 minutes. Don't forget that. That shares is the Excel spreadsheet. You get that and you resource it, LMS or whatever. Somebody's got it there, can copy and paste it if they want. But that is for shares. Shares open up as 4 and close up past 11. You cannot modify, enter, do anything outside the opening hours. Like you can't modify, do anything at the weekend on this because the market is closed. So shares, different volumes, different setup. But so that calculator works for everything, but repeat, but for shares. Okay. Don't guys saying doing that risk calculator, going 0.01 on Ford, and wondering why they won hits TP and they make and they can now afford a box of matches because that'd be ridiculously small. Yeah, that's all the idea of a practical. You need something, it's a fancy name for it, phrase called spatial intelligence. Comes a bit of practice, seeing a chart and seeing it. I can see it now a lot easier than doing every bloody day. It's practice, like changing gear without even thinking about it. Very different when you start, fair enough. Zoom out a bit. Okay, as you can see here, I use this for a filter. Above that, buy neutral sell area. So why would I buy in the sell zone? Because it's undervalued. Why would I sell in the buy zone? Because it's overvalued, as you can see here. Well, you can see here we've got some resistance, the 50, and just above it. See, it attacked it. Look at the wick. The sellers came in. Look at the candle, telling you what the sellers are doing. Sellers came in. The sellers came in. I think it's going to break through next time. We shall see. That pullback was purely Ramaphosa saying they're going to stick with him. They had a decent majority to stick with him. So that gave a bit of a fillip to the Rand, because the devil you know, the devil you don't know, John. But that thing was going to be overcome. And then it settles down. Eskom goes to level 8 or whatever. Up it'll go. Anyway, whatever. So we've got a bit of resistance in this area here. Where's the next one? Let's look here. You can see here there's a bit there, a bit there, a bit there. You need more than one or two, probably 3 or 4. It's a bit there. So you can see there's a bit of resistance there and a bit more in these levels here. Highs. Lows a little bit down here. Look at this. Down there, you've got a bit of a low. So I put my stop below the low on this one. You got a little bit more of a low. If that breaks through the lows there, the next low is a little bit there. So I wanted to stop below these guys here. Okay. If I could do it down there, even there's a couple more lows there. Can you see that? Look at those wicks. So I put the stop down there. So you've got to get through that guy, and this guy here, to 3 little hurdles there to stop you out. That's the idea, and the TP there. I still think it's got more upside. We'll stick to that in the meantime. If it breaks through and you're not hit your TP, move your TP out in case, you know, you don't hit your TP, move it out of the way, put your stop out, breaks out. Well, you made a decent profit. If it breaks through, you're still on board. No extra 20 pip cost to you. What a pleasure. And then modify your TP up. And then probably other guys will be entering a new trade. You'll have to stop down here, and etc., etc. Okay. You see, remember, I trade as well, and the guys in here trade, it's practical. The problem with a lot of these theory guys, and you remember I said about George Bernard Shaw, the famous playwright, those who can do, those who can't teach. A lot of teachers are out there teaching, not that sure how they're doing it, you know what I mean? I'm not doing this, I'm doing it overall. You know, all these lectures at university, thank goodness got somebody there, but why aren't they all doyens in the commercial world practicing it and moaning about their pay as a lecturer? Remember South Africa years ago, as a doctor in botany, and he went into selling timeshare. Timeshare, yes, a PhD in botany, because he wasn't paid enough at university. So you get the idea. So yes, we're the practical where it is. And yeah, so yeah. And I always question a lot of these guys on selling robots and YouTubing and all that. Where do they make their money? Is it, if they make so much money on their brilliant trades, why are they wasting the time on YouTube? Why don't they spend their time with their family enjoying that? So they probably make money by all the YouTube likes, which means they're getting advertising revenue. You get the idea. Remember Robert Kiyosaki? He made his money telling you how to invest, and he made his money from the books. The money he made by writing those books, money coming from the selling of those books, and how you to make a lot of money. You get the idea. Oh, hapa, shit, man. Excuse my language. Yes, come off as expected. No big surprise there. Will it break through further down? Tesla's a short. I'm not. I looked at it earlier on. Gerard, I'm not so sure. I think that ship sailed. I'm too nervous of selling it now. I want to sell it, but I want to sell it better off. You mentioned something earlier on before we look at Microsoft. There's Hewlett Packard. I think it's you. Somebody did. I think it's you. It's a possible sell. You want to buy it, I think. I see a sell here. It's going to break through. I see a potential sell here on Hewlett Packard. I think you mentioned that earlier on. But yeah, I want to sell this. I'm not that confident at the moment to go in. I think I'm going to risk missing. I want to. If it breaks down, maybe we look at it again. Or if we can get a better price. I think we'll just wait for the moment. See a bit of confirmation on that for a new trade. Night for a long, okay. It might bounce. I'll be very nervous to buy in these markets. Remember, the yields are high at the moment, might change. The dollar's playing a bit of strength. That's negative for the share market. I'm not sure I'll be buying it. I take your point. I know where you're coming from. It's come down to support. They say Vio, it's come down to support. That's where he's coming from. So he might get a bounce there. He's also saying, look, it's not the buy or the sell zone, it's a neutral, so you can buy or sell in the neutral. So he's saying a bit of support there. It's come down, we might get a bounce up. That's the thinking. And quite frankly, it's not a bad idea, to be honest. However, short the rally. Was Nike so special? Company, I like Nike, might be a great company, but the overall problems got out there, and the notes, as I mentioned, the yields on the notes, the DXY being a little bit on the higher side at the moment. I think probability might be more downside. Has it broken some resistance or support there? No, it hasn't. So I don't see a trade for the moment. Still a higher up or a breakthrough. In other words, Vio, there you are. How long have you been doing this? You haven't been doing that long. I would wait for confirmation. Hallelujah. Did you need to get a PhD in quantum mechanics for that? No, just a month. There you are. And I would say, have you got the position size calculator? Because if I do, he's going to swear at me. Don't ask me stupid questions. Of course I have. That's what I want when I ask a question like that. Not, ooh, hang on a minute. What's that now? Okay, you got to leave. Okay, fair enough. Okay, we'll go to the trades we've got open. We'll go to Microsoft, it's there. It's getting close to TP. We might get lucky. Only 240 is the TP, might get lucky. But just in case we're not lucky, modify your stop. You like that, Bill? Modify your stop. Get it down to make it 249. There we are. You got a $14 per share profit sitting in there. Whatever happens, I presume you're still in there, guys. I hope you are. Hope you haven't taken profit. If people are taking profit too damn quick and holding on to losses too damn long. And that is the problem. We want to cure that problem, because that's another major problem with beginning traders. For all of us, really, or experienced ones. But bottom line is, hold on, modify stop, build in profit, and hope it gets the TP. Right, so if it gets the TP, well, you're out anyway. It's $2 away. What a pleasure. Should we modify the TP? I think you can get a bounce at that level, so up to you, but I think not. Just take it. If it breaks through, we can have a look again. Right, but get your stop down to 249. Whatever happens, you make a handsome profit on this, where you stopped out, hits the TP. But the odds are going to hit the TP. That, I have to say, wasn't your guy. That was one of mine. So, excuse me, cracking up here, all this good news, eh? Baba. No, Baba. That used to be so weak. Now it's suddenly getting some strength. It's in profit. It's about $4, $3 a share profit. It's anywhere you entered. We've got 92 something here. Some guy got 91 something. But anyway, $3 or $4 in profit. You just got to suddenly get going. Okay, so we'll leave that. Okay, that's the only ones I have at the moment for shares, to be honest. The Oxy, I think, might have been stopped out, by the way. I'm not sure I'm still in that. If you're still in, well, hope for the best. Brent, I think it's giving us a bit of jip. No, it's not. It's holding on there. So you might come right there if you're still in it. I don't know what your story is there on the on the Oxy, but the others are okay. GBP, CHF still hovering. Come on, get your ass in gear and join the others. Let's have a quick look on gold. That was another winning trade. Coming off a bit now. Don't enter now, guys. Do not play around with it now. You might get a bit more upside squeezed out of it with the yields up and the DXY up. You might get a bit more. Might attack 1800 again. I think it got close today. Yeah, we've got to 800 there. I think it's a bit of a pull back on profit taking. You might have another go at it just now. If you're in, as long as you got your stop in profit, hang on in there. You might eat some more out of it. Whatever happens, you're going to win. S&P don't get cute. Find anything asked about it. I didn't want to get cute. And even it has come off. I'll stick with what I said earlier on. Didn't want to get cute on it. It didn't come off much as we speak. Rather get a better price. I don't think you're going to get 4,000. unless the economic climate changes radically. So we might get something a bit higher up to sell it down, but don't chase it now. And if it falls off, I'm not going to apologize for that piece of advice. I'm going to stick with it, leave it alone for the moment. If it does come off and you went in, you're being over aggressive, leave it alone for the moment. If you're still in a different ball game, hold it, modify stop, you know the score. Okay. Happy? Good. If you're not, well. A comedian once said, "Are you happy, ladies and gentlemen?" Said, yes. Well, soon put an end to that. English sense of humor. So let's see if we can stick with a smile on the face. Dollar yen coming, just getting a bit better. Yeah, so hold your 136.30 there. We might get some more out of it. CHF, JPY. That's still doing okay. Stop, may make this one stop 146.20. I said 146.10. Bump it up to 146.20, and nicer profit for you, and then run with it. CAD still doing fine. Leave it where it is at 99.90 as mentioned, so we can get some more out of it. Stick with a 40-pip profit, see if we can squeeze it a bit further up. The only ones giving us some jip over the last several trades, many of them, is this damn GBP CHF. But even damn is a bit overdoing it. It's not exactly stopped out. It's all right. It's down, but hang on a minute. It's down. How far is it down? It's 12 pips down. Don't think you shoot me on that one. And we're still in it. Might come right. Jumping around a bit. US dollar ZAR. Anything happening here? We got it at 25.3. It's getting close to break even. So you should be okay with this one now. The guys who went in at the trading room one, 17.253. It should have overcome the spread now. You should be looking. Thank you for you. Someone's on the ball here. Doesn't take too long to type out. Yes, it is. Thank you. To ask a question, you know, hold the whole trading room up. Like, is it a yes or a no? And they don't want to reply. They ask a question, say, you know, and you reply asking a question, and 10 minutes later they still haven't answered it. Holds everybody up. Good. Okay. So yeah. So it's going into profit now. That's great. So smiles, hope it continues going into the Christmas session and the New Year session and forevermore. Yeah. Let's that euphoria continue. Is the NAS trying to break? It's not, it's still hovering in there. So it did this thing on opening normal story, but I think it's going to break again. I'm looking at the dollar. Dollar's come off a little bit, still above 104.50. That might be all right. The yields are still going up. The yields are more powerful on the negativity of the shares in the index than the dollar is, interesting enough. So dollars, it's continuing green on the yields. I'll put it on if you want it. Didn't really, as long as you know what it all means. The yields, not the bond itself, it's the yields on the bond, on the most traded bond note in the world. Keep an eye on the yields, okay. High yields or interest rate, bad for shares, bad for gold. So yeah, I think it's going to break 11.2. I might be wrong. Wouldn't be surprised if we can have an attack at 11,000 tonight. But you can't get a risk reward, so don't get cute in it either. No, we'll leave. I'll tell you why. I'll come back to pairs, right? Shares normally have a bit of a jump. How do they call it? Christmas spirit jump or Christmas festivity jump. Normally have a nice little run, but hasn't occurred in the last couple of years. But in the past, when I said in the past, several years ago, used to get a nice little Christmas present of a decent run on the shares. A lot of it's changed now. There's a lot of fundamental differences. The pairs, you can't. It's a different situation. Pairs like match play. They don't play golf. Tournament golf and match play. Match play is between the two individuals. You know, it's not tournament golf. So it depends. I mean, you know, yeah. I mean, I see a Christmas spirit in the pound, but a Christmas disaster in the yen last year, but maybe different this year. Completely different setup. So you have to look at the pairs individually, like match play and golf, like I mentioned. But the shares collectively usually had a nice little jump going to the Christmas period, but didn't happen last year, the year before. And I think that's sort of like when in May, stay away, or that sort of thing. That's in the past. Technology and these enormous debts knocked up through COVID have changed the system around quite a bit. So rather just play on your knowledge of newly learned knowledge and judge each day as it comes along and adjust accordingly. Yeah, I did gold. Modify the stop. I can't lose it. Most of them I do here. I tell you, to be honest, sometimes I do miss because I'm busy chatting to you. But I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about you guys. If I miss one or two, that's tough. I'm okay, Jan. Don't worry about me. Sometimes I forget to put it in because I'm so concentrated on this, whatever, and suddenly forget. I've sometimes chased it a bit, which I shouldn't, because I forgot all about me, running around doing yours. And hang on, what about me? Chased it 15 pips on the up somehow, but I'm okay. Don't worry about me. It's you guys. My kick in this, quite frankly, is not so much the financial side, it's more the warm and fuzzy side. Oh, thank you, Roger. I've now seen my account increase in the trade room. That's my repayment. But don't make it up if it hasn't, you know. And if it hasn't, because you made it cock-ups, don't blame me. I win 5 macros, 600 Rand in my account on a 5-to-1 on the NASDAQ, and it was the wrong one. You said it was a buy trade, and I got margin call. That's not my fault. Okay, right. Got quite a few at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades out today, which is not bloody bad. See what I say, guys? I'll put it in again. Trading support, Roger. Why you have to have at least 2.5, preferably more, to handle the trade ideas that come out. You weren't on a smaller account. Just what's he want some more money off me? No. I just say, because I tell you what, from experience, I found guys with smaller accounts went in there, they went for all of them, especially the 500-to-1 guys, WhatsApp that is. And what happens is their margin calls. There's no free margin, didn't realize that. And instead of winning on them, they lost on them. So if you've got 2.5, preferably more in your account, and you're not on my group, please don't send it again if you are. I've spoke to guys, okay, thank you very much for putting the group, and checked out, and they're already on the group. Nice to told me, you know. But anyway, if you're not on the group, you got 2.5K, take a note of it and tell me, and I'll update you. If you have, please, if you do that, tell me who you are, the real account number, and say, hi, I put 2 grand in, I've got 2.5 grand. Don't be rude, but who the hell are you? You've got to tell me who you are. If you haven't, take the note of the number anyway. If you plan to put it in the next few days, a week or something like that, not a problem. And then you notify me. Don't wait for me to chase you. You chase me and say, hi, Roger, I've done it. And I'll check a couple of people today, put some bucks in. I've updated them. Now they're uploaded. So up to you. This is about teaching how to fish, not me fishing for you. So if you're not on, you want to be on, you got the Tom as mentioned, the minimum Tom, tell me. Well, I got CHF, US dollar JPY, CHF JPY, GBP CHF, US dollar ZAR, CAD JPY. Yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Four this morning and 1 this afternoon. Okay. Well, doing as much free margin, Mike. I didn't post it. ZAR won't post. I explained that earlier on to the trade room guys. Don't post that. It's not enough guys understand the costs involved, like the NAS. You won't see me posting that. That's the trade room guys. Done earlier on. I think you missed it now. You might have an opportunity to come back in. So the NAS coming off, hey, like mentioned. Yeah, you missed it. Sorry, mate, you missed it. Never mind. Other opportunities. Stick around, my friend. There'll be other opportunities. Hey, sorry, Vuyo, can you just wind down that smile? You're blinding me. He's just looked how well he's doing with his dollars are. You're blinding me, Vuyo. That's the smile I want to be blinded with, eh? Just to make you feel worse there, Mike, hey? This is cool. Now, I'm joking apart, the other trades are right. The only one that's not really coming around so far is the GBP CHF out of the 5. Just seem to be able to get going. But it's not a panic situation. Yeah, probably going too big, wrong, whatever it's got to be comfortable with. Wrong position sizing. So you find you can only go, if you're going too big, you only got enough free margin to go 2 out of the 5. And it just happens the 3 ones you didn't go were great. The other 2 didn't work out. You know, normal story. You want to be the sort of area where you can have free margin and go for the trades out there. You know, not all the eggs in one basket, as they say. If you've got too small an account, you have to put all the eggs in one basket because you've got enough capital to diversify. Don't forget that concept across a lot. I think the mind is so fixated on trying to squeeze top level wine out of a can of water, you know, something for nothing brigade, I call it. It's a worldwide phenomenon, and often sold to. Well, you won't blow your account if you stick to the principles, good trading practice. Well, that's not to say you won't. I mean, I suppose you can get 12 bad ones on the trot. It's not likely, but it's possible. It's like winning the lottery, you know. It's unlikely, sorry guys, you buy a lottery ticket, but somebody actually does. You can get some bad runs. We've all been through them. And then your confidence is shot. Thank you, Brady. That's what I want to hear. That's what I'm in it for. You don't have to send me money, not allowed to anyway. Well, strict rules on that. Send me these sort of things. And if you're going badly wrong on the trades and you've done all the right things, then I'll put my hand up and apologize. The bad ones have been sent. But, well, it's been 3 weeks, not 3 days, 3 weeks. That'll be okay. Usually when they go wrong is overexposing, over leveraged, so they're overexposed and they pick the wrong one, no stop loss, incorrect position sizing, they turn winners into losers. They haven't modified the stop, it did well, and then came out, stopped them in the loss. We don't want that to happen. I've done several trades here, but they went up nicely, let's say going long. Did fine, modified my stop, stopped out of the profit, came flying off, and some of the guys are crying, said they hit their stop loss in a loss. Again, they haven't been paying attention or didn't bother coming yet. Okay, Mike, stick around. Brady hasn't been doing that long, have you, Brady? And you're getting the idea, so why not? Although maybe Brady hadn't told you this, he's got his PhD in common sense, so that might be why. Try and study for that. But am I right? Seriously, I'm joking there, obviously, guys. But Brady, you haven't been doing this long, have you? How long have you been doing it? Trading, that is. Well, I think that's actually going to quick glass water, excuse me. Yeah, sorry, Brady. About a year. Okay, right. You just had a lot of breaks. So, yeah, it's like the 18-year-old said, I've been shamed for 4 years and I've cut myself on both occasions. You know, yeah, I mean, altogether about a year, but several breaks, etc. So, certainly sort of recently, you've been putting some effort and time into it. When then we cut that down to about a month or so, maybe a little bit longer. And you're getting some of an idea. So I'm saying to try and bolster those guys who are new, saying, hang on, it doesn't take forever. It's not like saying 5 years to study for that degree or whatever, and another couple of years internship, and then I still got to look around for a job. Oh my goodness, no. And if you've been training a year and you're battling, stick it out, learn the little basics here, and then we might get a smile like Brady and Via have got. And Via's not scared to say, what's that moving average? Doesn't look at it and say, well, I hope it will sort of materialize in my brain. No, he asks and get an explanation. If you ask me to spend the next half hour explaining ins and outs of an indicator, Bollinger Band or whatever, I'm not going to do that. That's for the classes. SMC doesn't pay me. It's a separate company. That's another point. SMC, Stock Market, is a separate company. Nothing to do with me. I'm a quick trade. It's a broker. So a stock market college job, you pay them the money, not me. So you go and get the classes from them. Then you come and when you open up an account, it's funded, you come in here and learn how to put what you learned there into practical use. Aha, well, there you are. Going to be a little bit careful here because some guys rushing on the first year degree thinking to give it up for trading. But the problem with degrees, until you're right now, in all forms of study, part of the curriculum is enormous amount of theory, which is good to have. I know that in 1066, what was it? King Harold was beaten by William the Conqueror and he got an arrow in his eye. But I'm not sure it's going to help your commercial life much having that fantastically interesting piece of information what happened 1,000 years ago. It's all good to know. If it comes up in a quiz night and I get it right, I might win a bottle of wine and a pat on the back. But that's as far as it goes. Yeah. So thing is, if anybody of degree probably back me up in there, there's only about 20, 25, if that percent you will use in your practical life. I had to do 5 different exams for this one. And in the derivatives exam, which is one of the tougher ones I've taken a lot of exams in my life, that was a toughie of note. So this is coming off, eh? Stick with it. Toughie of note. A lot of that stuff is options, which we're not using, forwards, which are used by institutions, different swaps, different currency swaps, which we don't use at all. So if you ask me to go and do that now with you, I'd have to go and research again because I've forgotten. I knew it then to pass the exam. I've forgotten, I'm not using it. So again, the practical aspect. Oh, there you are then. And that is a tragedy. I met a lady who worked as a telemarketer and she put herself, she told me, I don't know, she's a lot, but anyway, she costed 200 grand to get a law degree, an LLB. And she told me 200 grand it cost her to couldn't get a job. So she's telemarketing because she's divorced, hasn't got a husband, to try and support her kids, a couple of kids she's got. And that is tragic. All those years of study and great cost. And not just the cost of the studying and the accommodation, but the years when you're not having an income. So you've got to take that into account as an accountant, you know what I mean. And that got to program that into the system as well. And in the end, you can't get a job at it. It's pretty tragic. Yeah, well, there we are then. Again, we go back to thinking, Gerard. If any trade ideas come up, and shut me up immediately, okay, if I'm waffling on. But yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, we'll take Newton. He worked out the formula. That's the genius. All right, you got to be a little bit clever to learn formulas when you taught them that he worked out originally. But that's not where the genius is. That's where the number crunching, that's where the boring old graph studying comes in. But the genius is working it out. That's where the clever guys are. To me, a lot of cleverness is it's mistaking in general knowledge. That's just general knowledge, and a decent memory to remember and have the discipline to keep over it till it sticks. Like 2 and 2 is 4, 4 and 4 is 8. Well, that's just practice. You know what I mean? Where intelligence, apparently, I'm told, is the ability to turn nonsense into sense at speed. So if you come up with something and you can find out some sort of idea through, I don't know, what do you call it? Not think on your feet, forget the word, I'll come up to it now. Thinking, that's the clever ones, you know? And you get different intelligences. I mean, you hand me a spanner and I'm as thick as 2 short planks. I knew one guy, he has died, unfortunately. We might battle mathematically, but you hand him a spanner and he's a sodding genius. So it's different areas. I bloody hell, Brady. Now, if you want me on my soapbox, now you got me. Now you're going to have to put me on mute, not yourself, because that's when I get on my soapbox. Absolutely. Teach you basic finance, teach you basically how to think, etc., etc. But they don't. I mean, a lot of guff, which 9% is forgotten about, to get through the trick, and then you don't. You need to know basic mathematics, basic reading and writing, how to think, be helpful, and people won't be following all these bloody media, bloody Instagram nonsense, and basic economy. There's guys walking around taking, I say, well, you can borrow the money off me with pleasure, it's 10% a month. Oh, okay then, because I haven't worked out the difference between 10% a month and 10% a year. It's 12 times the difference. They're looking at scars to try to explain it to them and wonder why they get caught, things like that. Basic economics, basics, because it runs your life. It does. I don't care, oh, money's not everything. Well, believe me, when you're starving and you can't buy a loaf of bread, it becomes slightly more important. As I say, when money goes out the window, love usually follows pretty damn quickly. I mean, I've just joined a dating buzz and said, I'm completely broke. I'm looking for a woman who can look after me. Have you called her back yet? No. I'm joking about going to date buzz, doing it, but I'm trying to illustrate a point here.
You're naughty today, sir.
Yeah, well, it's true, because we all know that. It's not so much being naughty, because people see cars and houses and boy-girl relationships and that sort of thing. And if you put it into something they're familiar with it, you often see it a little bit like position size calculations, budgeting. You know, you're going to rush out, you got your rent to pay, food to pay, this to pay, that to pay. And on payday, you rush out and spend a lot on a fancy TV set and a computer. You're not, because you're going to budget, realize that other expenses coming out of it. Same sort of thing, you know. So I'm trying to sort of analyze that into something you're familiar with to make the stuff that seems strange, same principle. And try and understand the sum for nothing. Go back to the boy-girl thing. Okay, Gerard, good. The boy-girl thing. People always, what I call the one principle, are fixated on what's in it for me, not something they give to get. I'll give you an example. You add up all the qualities you are, fine, right? Your looks, your money, your personality, all the qualities you've got. And let's, for example, out of 10, 0 to 10, let's say you come out with a 5. You might be a 9, you might not be, I don't know. But the purpose of this, you come out with a 5. The problem is now finally chases the 7s and the 8s, and he gets rejected. Do you want to go out with a 1 or a 2? No. So why should 8 go out with a 5 if you don't want to go out with a 2? They don't think of that. That's the problem. They've always been fixated what I can get out, not what I can put in to get out. And that's why they usually get into problems. You see my point? If you get that sort of situation sort of rationally in one's head, you won't trip over the same con men that proliferate out in the world knowing that's your emotion. Because the mainstream media play on that, Instagram, Facebook, they play on that. They know that. That's something for nothing attitude. Have we got a lady on here? I'm sure we've got a lady on this somewhere. Let's find a lady's name to pick on. Pietro, right. Pietro, right. Now, Pietro is stunningly gorgeous. She's 35 years of age, and she's very wealthy and very intelligent. I'm not 35, not stunningly intelligent, not stunningly wealthy, etc. And I go and start chasing her. And, oh, a bit, she rejected me. Well, of course she's going to, because I'm putting in 5 and she's putting in 10. It's not fair. Sorry, Pietro, but you know what I mean. So, no, you know, this beautiful young lady comes up to me. The only way she's going to be chasing me, because she's broke since I've got money. It can't be for my good looks or my youth. Well, my good looks is probably, yeah, probably is my good looks, actually, more I think about it. Yeah, my mother told me that anyway. But yeah, you get my point, yeah. That's why Liz Hurley still won't reply to my calls, you know? She's a 10 and I certainly ain't not. Mothers and their sons, yeah. It's like these poor buggers used to go on Idols. I haven't watched that for years. Used to watch it years ago for the wrong reasons. You know, the wooden mic. was hilarious. And mum, they said, people told me I was good. Who was that? It was my mum. Yeah, well, hang on a minute. Your mum's slightly biased. Right, we're getting off the subject a bit here. It's all great fun. Well, I enjoy it. But anyway, it's not just good fun. It's hopes and structural to get people to think. Before I want, what am I going to give to get what I want? It seems to be that simple little equation or formula seems to be on the majority of people on the planet. And that's why they go unstuck. If you've got squat to offer, no wonder they don't want to know. I'm going to put 100 Rand in my account. And Roger, you spend the next 3 hours on Zoom teaching me how to trade. Well, no. Why? Why do you bloody think? Too many drinks and going in because I was fed up, down. I took a couple of knots and then I just sod this. I had a couple of drinks. I'll get it back in the markets. Too many drinks. I don't do the market. I was fed up about something. That came back and bit me even harder. So I felt even more sorry for myself. You know, it was my emotion took over my logic. Good stuff. Well done, John. Already. Don't get it too close. Don't get it too close. That's another mistake people make. They're so scared of losing. They hold on to the losses and they take the profits too quickly. So they start modifying too quickly. They get stopped out in the noise. The up and down is the noise. And then it sells onto the TP and they're not on board. All right, they made 5 Rand. They could have made 50. So don't get it too close. Where's entry? 25. Where's 25? Where's 25? 25. This is a 50-minute chart. Let's go to an hour chart. Where's 25? No, it's an hour away. I know it's gone really well. It might come up. This works on all charts. You might get a pullback now. So I know where you modified it to. Even entry is a bit too close. But that's fear coming in. Now, you're probably glad you did if it comes shooting down. I get that. But you're going to miss out more than you're going to get by saving your ass on that, by getting too close. Is Pete on here? He admits he's modified too close from the fear aspect. It's all about fear, all about fear. Remember, fear is far more powerful than greed. It's all about fear. And he's been stopped out, he's made 10, and all the others still on board and modifying and modifying. And the next day, they're modifying and still on board. Don't get it too close. If it takes out something,
I completely agree. One of my problems is I modified too close, specifically on a Friday, and then Monday morning, I got bad news on my account.
Yeah. Just remember that. It's coming up Friday, slightly different Friday, going to the weekend, anything could happen. I get that. Let's say, let's make it something a bit more straightforward. The US dollar CAD. You bought it down here, and that's you bought it, let's say you bought it here, and how far are you in profit? You're 100 pips in profit, no problem at all, and saying, maybe I'll just put it up to maybe 20 pips instead of 30 pips away from market. If I'm still in Monday morning, great. If I'm not, I'll make 70 pips. That's fair enough. But what you do is you're a bit scared, so you put it 10 pips away. Well, you might as well just take your profit, because a 10 pip movement is nothing. That's the noise. Look how many times we looked at trades that gone in. Hang on, I get a lot of guys sending me screenshots. You can if you like. Nothing wrong with that, as long as a particular point you're trying to make. But I'm just sending a screenshot's got red on it, as if I'm supposed to wave a magic wand and turn the red into a blue. And yeah, so they start to panic on that, and then they move the stop up too quick, or I don't know what, or they just take the profit, and they're taking 10 winners and profits of 5 pips, and then they hold on and then move the stop away. The next one, they lose 100 because of those reasons. That's just emotions completely overtaking their brain, and it's not working in their favor. The thing is to keep your mind correct on it, is to get the position sizing where you can handle the knock. If you've got 10 grand in your account, you can afford to lose, say, 500 Rand. So if you're down 400, you're not panicking, because you've got 4 trades open, the other 3 are doing okay. Other 3, let's say a modified example. into profit. So if it does stop you out, so be it, you're not panicking. Or all four are doing badly. Well, all right, you're going to lose $2,000. It's not nice. You don't often get four. You do get them. I've had them. You will get them, but not often you get four. But even four wrong ones stopping you out on the original stop loss is $2,000. You've still got $8,000 to play with. You're still in the game. It's still okay. That's when they break those rules is where overwhelming. I cannot overstay us. We'll go on about so much. Get it through to you guys. That is where the problem is not overexposing and not a disciplined correct amount. You got $10,000, 701, 1,000 on one, 200 on another one. That's not the way to do it. If 500 rand's your risk, you stick with it. You're in 4 trades, they're all 500. If you lose, it comes right. You don't have to. I often do get up to entry, but you can even start to say, right, it's gone up, let's say 40 pips. My stop loss is 100 pips away. But look, maybe it's gone up by 20. It's doing okay. Maybe you can modify your stop loss 30 pips. You're still going to take a loss, but instead of 400, it's now 300. There's many ways, if you can think clearly, to do it. This is arithmetic, not even mathematics. But you're not thinking. Clever guys are not thinking because the emotions, they haven't learned the proper principles of trading, and their emotions are taking over, and all the rationale is going out. And even the winners will come back and bite. The losers will always come back and bite, but the winners come back and bite. That's what hurts. Because I look at my track record since I've been doing the guys with the posting on the group WhatsApp, and overwhelming have been winners and losers. But guys who are suffering is they haven't got enough money to take them all, or they're jumping out all sorts of funny areas or modifying too quickly. They're screwing up by bad principles of trading. It's not just me saying that. That's anybody who's been doing it for a while will back that up. Overwhelming, the beginner's problem is they're not in control or understanding. Control's the wrong word. You're never going to control it completely, but understanding the emotions involved. And thinking, it took me 5 years to be an accountant, I can do this in 5 minutes. Well, if you can do something in 5 minutes, it means the skill level is so appallingly low, it means the repayment or the earnings is going to be appallingly low. Remember, Messi earns a lot more than my football. Why? Because he's a better player than me. Not much, mind. It's only a smidgen difference, but let's be honest, he's a slightly better player than me. So he's going to get more money than me. I'm making a joke of it so you get the idea. It's not fair. I have a hard-working nurse who works 12 hours a day. This doctor, he only works 8 hours a day and gets more than me. Well, there's a slight difference in studying, effort and time and knowledge that put into it. Expect that. And I've been through some tough times getting the hang of this, I tell you, because no one held my hand. Didn't have TRs in my day. Didn't have the tech in my day. So I'm feeling sorry for myself. Just pointing out, never guys have had it so lucky as now. So the responsibility now is to take time and trouble of these things that are offered to you. All right, you have to buy the SMC course, but all this stuff is free. Get the proper equipment, Get yourself a decent internet, speedy one, reliable one, stable one, all these sort of things. Even not so long ago, 10, 12 years ago, internet cost a sodding fortune. It's cheap now. And fair enough, all right, you say, but I've only got 500. No problem, but don't expect to go and buy a pick and pay. It won't happen. Common sense. Right, this continuing up, doing quite wrong one, bizarre, sorry. Continuing up, don't get your stop too close. See it's come back a bit. See, it works on all of them. Wrong one there, sorry, putting the other one. See, it's come off a bit. See, on the 1 hour. Remember, it's the 200 for you, not the 200 day, 201 hour. Okay, but it works on all of them. Come back, a few buyers are coming in. Look at the 15 minutes. Come back, a few buyers coming in. Right, this is the noise, the up and down. Buyers, millions of people buying and selling, taking profits, we speak, which moves the markets up and down. So you got your view, stick with it, and run with your profits. Run with the blue, not run with the red. If you've got trade ideas, you can take this on, stick with that kind of discipline. Even missing out a few trades will do you far more than just jumping in every single one, hoping for the best, without knowing why. Because when it comes wrong, you won't know why. Then you're in control. You're learning how to fish, guys. I know I'm going on, but I'll probably go on again in the future, because without doubt, this is where the issues are coming in. Not the trade signals, is I want to be a lawyer after 5 minutes. Do we have Philip is here? He's a piano teacher. To sit down, want to play like Beethoven after half an hour on the piano. Won't happen. Stick with it, and you'll get there, but it takes a little bit of effort. Yeah, you modified your stop on Microsoft. It might have actually hit the TP. Where's that? I think it might have hit the TP. See, not quite. Remember, if it's the TP and you're on a sell, it's got to hit the buy or the ask figure, not the sell or the bid figure. So if the sell gets to 240, you're still in. That has got to get to 240. That's the spread before you're kicked out in the take profit. It's nearly got there. What's it doing now? Jumping a bit. It's trying to get there. The NAS is still coming off, so it could get there tonight. But it's so close to the TP, we don't want to suddenly go back up $5. So you can maybe move the stop even closer now. Make it $244. $244. There you made $18 a share profit. What a sodding pleasure. Absolutely brilliant. And it hits your TP, what a pleasure. But if it gets close, bounces up. Last thing you want to get back to 250. So modify to 244 if you're still in it, and see you get stopped out just now. I'm not making the stuff I'm going on and on about. This is hard-learned stuff. I'm trying to put an old man's head on a young man's shoulders. Often you have to make mistakes yourself to learn, but try and make as few of them as possible. I had a long time hard work learning these. It cost me a lot of money to learn all this stuff I'm spouting now. All these lagging indicators, having too much here. Oh God, a long time. I had no one to hold my hand. So yeah. Right, and what's that GBP CHF one? Is there anything happening there? Yeah, start to try and grind down a bit. I think it might even be a cent. Yeah, it's about break even still. Because remember, we got it 47, but the bid or the ask rather is 49. So remember, you get in on that and you get out on that, and that's a market maker spread. So it's still got to come off another one to break even, but 1 pip in the red is not exactly jumping off the Eiffel Tower in suicidal disgust. So that's fine. Anything happening on the CAD? JPY coming off a bit. Still, we're in profit. Hope you don't get stopped out. But if you do, you're going to make money. So that's okay. You're protected. That's the bottom line. This one still about the same as we last looked at it. You got the stop, I think, 146.30, something like that, if I remember rightly. So you're going to make money on it anyway. And the dollar yen, what's this one doing? Okay, it's still doing fine. You've got your stops modified. You make money on that or whatever. See if you squeeze a bit more out of it. Good stuff. Squeeze the winner. Don't hold on to the loss. Make that your slogan for the day. If I believe that. If I believe it. I tell you, I always go back to Facebook. Most people are on Facebook. Brady, when did you post on Facebook? Here's me having a terrible time on holiday. I'm arguing with my wife. It's pouring with rain and the food is lousy. And I wish I'd stayed at home. You know what I mean? You only point out stuff like that. Now, you said average 30% growth. What's that? 30% growth in 25 years, 30% growth per annum. 30% growth per annum, if you know what you're doing in this, it should be 50%. Well, that's not so great. Let's put that in figures there, Brady. We just put up there. It's to understand figures. I'm saying the pros here should be looking at 4% a month. That's 50% a year. Let's work on 30%. Never mind, it's still percent. Okay, it's 10 rand or 10 billion. It's working percentages. Right, you want to make 30% like this guy did. Okay, you think that's brilliant. So what do? You put in 10 grand. Let's get this to reality. 10 grand. What's 30% of 10 grand? It's 3,000 per year. What's that per month? 250 per month, right? Divide that by 20. That's just over 1 rand a day. It's about 1 rand 10 a day. So if you put 10 grand in, and you do as well as that hedge fund manager, you'll make R1.10 a day. All right. Now, will you buy the course off me? Hey? You get my point. Think percentages, put it in reality. There you are. And he's boasting of that. And guys say, right, I've got 10 grand. I want to make 100 rand a day. 100 rand a day is 2,000. So he wants to make 20% a month. That's 240% a year, 8 times hedge fund manager. And he knows nothing. Sobering but true. Hate it because it makes enemies. People don't want to hear it. They want to hear the dream. Unfortunately, how many dreams come true? I'm still dreaming with Liz Early, but you know. My wife said, I don't mind because I'm dreaming of what's his bloody name again? Officer and Gentleman guy, that guy. What's his bloody name? You know, that American film star. Pretty Woman guy, that chap. In fact, this is what I got the subject. I tell you, women can be real bullies. Many years ago in Cape Town, subject got married. She worked out all right. She made me pay us both to go to Sun City to see Rod Stewart because she fancied him. So I've got to pay the money to take my wife to Sun City to see Rod Stewart because she's drooling over him. Can you imagine you going up to your wife and say, can you go and take me to Britney Spears? I'm drooling over her. Eh? We're so bullied, us poor men. It's just so unfair. We're such victims. Good question. Good question. Good question. That, funny enough, that was a few years ago. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. You'll have to extrapolate into a year, but I made 60. I made 60,000 rand to 240,000 rand. This is a few years ago, in just under 9 months. So, yeah. So that was quadruple in 9 months. So if you extend that out, the mass is probably about 6 times. It's about 600% a year. But that was a raging bull market, and that's not normal.
What's the easiest to trade, bear or bulls?
Don't know. Neither, I suppose. Most people are naturally psychologically go for buys rather than sells. But I've been doing either side so much now, it's immaterial. I think when you start, it's probably more natural to look at the bull rather than the bear, because that's where we're programmed mentally. You know what I mean? So probably because it's more used to it. But if you're doing it all the time like myself, then it makes a lot of difference. If I see a good short the dollar yen, a good reason for it, I'll be happy to grab the same principles I use if I was going long on it.
Okay, because I think I only start trading Forex or get exposed to Forex and indices now in the bear market. And I think it caused a lot of thinking to finally change my mind. Luckily, not manually, but still.
Yeah, well, there you are. We're programmed. I'll tell you what, I ever tried to drive a car on the right-hand side of the road. I did it once in Tenerife, the Canary Islands. I handed the car back and took a taxi. I've never been so stressed in my life. Well, I'm an older guy. A youngster might pick it up quicker. That's the advantage. Sorry, I don't know what your age is there. You mentioned you're not 21 anymore, finally. So let's be upfront here. Youngsters will pick up changes a lot quicker. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just the way it is. Okay. But yeah, it just happens that way. Apparently, is it 28 years of age? Our brain cells start dying off. We've still got quite a few left. Don't panic here, guys. But yeah, we're not as quick to assimilate change in our 50s, 60s upwards as we are in youngsters. So it's just one of those things. But yeah, going back, what else was it? Oh yeah, bear market. Yeah, bear market means nothing. When you buy one, you're selling the other automatically. So if the dollar, let's take the dollar Swiss franc. If you're bear on the dollar, you're bullish on the franc. If you're bearish on the franc, you're bullish on the dollar. So you can't really use it bear bull on that, because as soon as you buy one, you're selling the other. It's like a seesaw. If you put an extra weight, if you put Barney is extra weight. I'm only kidding, Barney. You put out extra weight on, and when he's got his 2 daughters on the seesaw, immediately, I'm sorry, that one the opposite side is going to go shooting up. and the one that Farley's sitting on is going to go down. That's a pivot point on the seesaw. So that's different. We're talking NASDAQ or shares or gold. That's a different story. That depends on the situation. But you can't say bull or bear on Forex because one is against the other, like match play. You know, automatically, it doesn't matter if you're a bull on one, therefore, by definition, you're a bear on the other one automatically. If you see my point.
Yeah, you're right. The one have to, it's absolutely true on Forex, but indices is another bugger and commodities.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The thing is, you know those principles we talk about and how the fundamental affects it. Remember, you just gone short on a JSE share when we had them. You're thinking about making money on the way down. You're not thinking as much of people might be pushed out of work, or there's a whole lot of mining going on in Impala Platinum's a good example of thinking of, etc. There might blah blah blah. I'm not thinking that. Just thinking, oh, I've gone short. I'm looking at that movement on my PL and hoping it's going to come right. That's all you think about. I'm trying to teach to think of the bigger picture, what's behind it. Now, I'm talking about this debt, $300 trillion debt, $100 trillion world asset. That's hectic. You know, that's the world asset debt. So something's got to be done. Well, it's got to be done, but it should be done. And that's why we've got these issues at the moment. Remember, it's cyclical. Well, it used to be cyclical, where you have a period as a bull and then a period as a bear. You know, it goes up like a cycle, like a cycle. And it's been interfered with lately. That all we've done now is because of technical inventions, innovative. I can't find the right word now. So that's changed it. You know, the Zooms, the Googles, or whatever, change it. Hanged on to the bull a little bit longer. Now it's coming off. But it's not so much the stocks are doing badly. It's just something maybe a bit overvalued, but that's questionable. I think the PE ratios were overvalued. Yeah, probably. But if they're still popular, doing well, so be it. Yeah, a lot of it is because increasing debt and the human mind goes in sympathy. So you suddenly find the Dow comes off, and the shares, even the ones that are doing reasonably well, unless they're doing astronomically well, will come off with it. Remember, I gave that example the other day on Nedbank share. You know, the Dow comes off because Apple had a bit of a profit warning. And in fact, the Dow came off. I opened up the next day, and Nedbank comes off. And what the effing hell's Nedbank got to do with it? Something 10,000 Ks away or more. It's not even a banking stock. Yeah, because that's how powerful ones we follow. It's almost like a trend. We go in sympathy with it. Remember, we had the CPI on the USD. Look what happened to the Canadian. That flew off. Look, that's another country. It happens. Remember, I said about the Dow going off. I would expect the German, the FTSE, and the other indices to come off with it. It's Europe, nothing to do with it. But look, they came off in tandem. You get the idea. That's just picking up from experience, which I can pass on to you. Getting the psychological analogies I'm trying to speak to you to get an idea, so you can see it, so you can act on them. And once you can start to act on them, I promise you, it'll make it a lot easier. Things will become a lot clearer.
Oh, thank you, because I mean, that's why I really try to attend the trading room as much as possible. It's just my filing cabinet up my brain. The three brain cells not always come together in the right sequence, but I'll continue.
Yeah, but the number crunch is one thing, Fadi, guys. It's getting the concept. I try to get people to see the concept. If they're not getting the concept, the number crunching ain't going to cut it. I used to be in sales, and I used to do some sales training, trying to get the psychological concept of fear and greed, which occurs in selling when you hear it for the first time, this product. Look, cars is very different, because we all know about cars. We're talking about something that's outside the box. That's when the sales psychology concept has to be learned. It's astounding how many people just couldn't grasp it. It's just the psychological concept applies not just in selling, it applies to our life. The fear and greed, something's outside the box, fear comes in. We get into a motor car because it's inside the comfort zone, and we take off, we go over the limit, we forget to put the seatbelt on. Very, very, very dangerous. Don't even think about it. Then we say we go into something completely new, and you're ultra cautious because it's outside the box. That's why the salesman, hopefully he's got a decent product, he's trying to help the guy, not trying to con him out of commission, you know, help the guy to overcome those fears. I mean, I deal with people in my job now where they're already on board. I'm trying to give them confidence. So I'm selling a very different kind of style than when they haven't been on board. It's a completely different sales concept where the fear is absolute. and you've got to be very careful where you take them. When they're on board, they're inside the box, they overcome that fear. Now you've got to take them into the trust level. I'm trying to sell a bit of trust in here so they get the concept of saying, hang on, this guy is not a scammer. I've had the last 10 years, all I heard is scam BS, scam BS. It's difficult because it's ingrained to get rid of it, that fear, saying maybe I can trust and start easing into it. So a guy comes up and says, don't worry, you start with 500 grand. Just to get over that fear, my job then is to say, right, you've done it a couple of times, calm down, let's be rational. What can you do in the international Forex and share market with, what's 5 grand, 30 US dollars? Let's try and do this thing properly if you want to have a go at it. And you rationalize now why, and they can see it. If I try to say that when they first came on board, no, the fear would overtake, and they'll come back. Good old fob off. I must discuss with my wife or think about it. That's a fob off saying, no, thank you. You get the point. It's all psychological. It's so important. Psychological conditioning and fear and greed. And the fear, it's the biggest of the lot. Forget greed. It's there, but greed only overcomes when you overcome the fear. Now you drive too fast. But the fear is without doubt the biggest. It guides our lives. Fear of the unknown. And it's played upon. That's how we get played with advertisements, the Instagrams, the mass media, the headlines, all this stuff here on the radio, the media, whatever. They know that. They're playing on it. But remember, the oppressor is not above it. The oppressor also is subjected to fear and greed. It's built into our genetic makeup. You don't overcome it, but you'll understand it. Once you get that concept, make a big difference. That's why when I joke about Liz Hurley, I ain't going to chase Liz Hurley. Because I've never heard of Groucho Marx, the Marx Brothers. He said once, I don't ever want to be a member of a club that will allow a person such as myself to be a member. So it's quite an amusing way of putting it. I would certainly think if Liz Hurley wanted to go out with me, I think, what the hell's wrong with her? Why would she? She's a 10 and I'm a 5. Why would she? That's the way you should be thinking. And if she does, my radar would go up. What's the catch? If it's too good to be true, put in 5 grand, you're going to make, 10 grand a month. It's too good to be true because all you do is crunch the mathematics, borrow $1 million on your house, put it in there. Within 3 weeks, you pay the loan off. Now, within 2 months, you're sitting in the Bahamas in your luxury yacht and without any skill or knowledge whatsoever. And the person teaches you what the hell they teach you, what they come and selling you for. Why aren't they in the Bahamas? But our greed's overtaking our rationality. We're not thinking. And I've seen intelligent people say, oh, but they told me I could do that. Well, you can tell me by taking this pill, I'll run faster than the fastest creek, than the cheetah. I caveat emptor, but buyer beware. Think a little bit. How's that pill going to, and if it did, it wouldn't last long before I put them sort out anyway. Yeah, that's right. It's the emotion, because the profit and loss is in your face. Ignore it. You know what you're prepared to risk. You can afford that risk. And if you can't, you shouldn't be in trading. You shouldn't be in the trade. If you can't afford the loss, never mind the profit. If you can't afford the loss, you shouldn't be in it. So it'll play on your nerves. Let's go to the dollars R's. We can talk about that. Yeah, it's coming off a little bit now, playing in your nerves. You got in, you're still in a profit. It goes up and down, it's a noise. You got your stop down there because you didn't move it because I didn't say you should do it. Dictatorial man that I am. Let it bounces off, then it goes back up again. Remember the other way around. You're in a loss, so you wait for the bounce. Now you're in the going up. You got to say, well, if it's going up, it's going to come off. If it goes down, it should go up again. But if you can apply that theory, if it goes down, it must go up. If it goes up, it must come down. The noise. We're still okay with it. We still got the view. We still got the strategy. Don't be like a bit of a slight slow breeze blow you off. It'll be, like blows you off your course, No, you're stronger than that. You got it. And if it does go wrong, you worked it out. It's not going to hurt. Just stick it out. But that'll drive you insane. The movements of the noise up and down. Quick way to the loony bin. Cheder, if you just joined, you're probably coming in halfway. Cheder, just to catch you up, that's great to have you. Welcome. You obviously put your hand up. I'm impressed with that. Then you go onto live chat. That's the idea. Not live chat. Yeah, the live chat on this one, the morning chat, meeting chat. That's the one. This is not a class. It's a forum. You will not pick this up in 5 minutes. You came a little bit late. It's 1:30 now. We're going to be closing off. No problem with that. I'll be doing it tomorrow morning and afternoon, the next day. Then we're closing up till the 9th. Do it every day after that. You are finding the guys that come in. Brady's coming every day for 3 weeks, and it's working. Stick it out. You will not learn how to play the piano in 5 minutes. Same we said of trading. Pick it up. You take the right step. We're coming in here. Pick up the ideas. We discussed trades number 1. There's no trades coming out of that specific moment. We trade concepts and ideas and try and learn from the experience. You don't make the same mistakes that I made when I started all on my own. That's what it's about at the moment. But as Farney says, welcome. We're a trading team. Hope you become a regular member. Sometimes some of the truths coming out might be a bit harsh and hurtful. Reality normally is, but you have to grasp it. If you stick with the dream might come up and not come true. Yes, you can do all sorts of win the lottery, but it's not going to be that. Okay, I've said quite a lot. It was important stuff I had to go through. I got the impressions and the feedback that it was important stuff, so I hope I haven't bored you. Hope you picked up on it. With a bit of practice, it'll become second nature. Okay, I'll just quickly go over that video. Important question, very good one. Okay, I used to be the Merchant Navy. I was an officer in the British Merchant Navy, not the Royal Navy, the Merchant Navy, carrying goods around, like tankers, cargo ships. Now, the cost to employ people in the British Merchant Navy is high. So they flag out, not UK flag, London flag, as they call it, Panama, Libya, other areas, Malta, a few of them. And as long as the guy's got legal international qualifications, to be an officer, you get certain exams you got to do, and they come from a country that's cheaper to employ, obviously they're going to do that. I mean, nothing whether you're Polish or British, but a Polish officer is cheaper than, let's say, a British one, different cost of living strata. So if the Polish guy's got the same, qualification, nothing wrong with him doing the job, and he'll work, and he can pay him 10 instead of paying me 20, clearly they'll take him on. So it just slowly but surely is shrinking. And I became redundant at the age of 40. Now I'm a navigating officer. What the hell can I do ashore? I had some money saved. Clearly, I saved some money. I wasn't broke. But now I'm going to do it at 40. And I certainly couldn't retire on the money I'd saved, and even I wanted to. So what I do now, and I saw an advert and started, and that's when the problem started. I've never seen so much BSs. Not just the scammers, some of them were there, but BSs, all talk, no substance. You get the idea. Learned the hard way, I stuck at it. Lots of ups and downs, lost a lot, picked up a little bit, lost a lot, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and took a while. And then it took some time. And then I'd say really in the last few years, I've really put together what I'm using now after a lot of hit and miss. And the technology is advanced, a lot of aspects here. I took the exams later on in life, and that I learned a lot from that. And it's really honed to all those tough times to I go on about now. And the techniques of the intelligence and number crunching is not the one. It's getting the psychological concept. You can learn all the techniques in the world. If you don't get the psychological concept behind it, it's always going to be a battle. That's why I go on about the sites so much. I don't care how much aftershave I put on, how many facelifts I get. If I don't get the concept, I'm a 5 and Liz Hurley's a 10, I'm going to still get rejected. You get the idea. And you'll pick that up as you go along. Okay. And I think the feedback of what I mentioned, I'll go on a little bit because it's important. Feedback I'm getting, they are benefiting. They might be just be polite, but I think there'll be realities there. I feel it is, or they wouldn't be coming back unless a complete masochist. Brady himself said he's done all well since we joined the training 3 weeks and the training idea become the learning curve. And as I mentioned, you joined late. If you've got 2.5 grand or more in your account, you can be a member of my QT WhatsApp group where I post fresh off the press trading ideas, signals, as well as daily updates. All the trading signals you'll get sent by the company or the account managers come from myself because I'm the only one qualified to do it, except the KI, and he's got other stuff to manage. So they've got to come from me anyway. So why get it third party, get it fresh off the press, but you have to have a minimum balance of 2.5 to cope with the signals. So I'm just putting that. inside the trader's mind. Same sort of principle. Trader's mind, I'm going to say the human being's mind. The fear and the greed, the concept of those emotions. The fear and the greed. Similar principle. You can do it in your love life as well. You're going with nothing, hoping for a big return. Going with no money, no looks, no intelligence, no nothing, and you want to go out with someone who's far, far higher up the scale than you, you're going to get rejected. Same thing. You got to use the same principles. I'll put it on your credit. I don't know if you've got 2.5 grand or more. If you haven't and you're going to get 2.5 grand or more, here's my WhatsApp number anyway, and you can tell me you have, and I'll make you a member of my tremendously elite group. Okay. WhatsApp, I get busy here, so just send a WhatsApp. Okay, take a note of it, guys. And if you do, say it's Gerda Jacobs or whatever, and say, hi, it's me. I'd like to remember your group, because I'm not going to remember who you are. You know what I mean? Okay. And of course, your real account number handy, make life even quicker and easier. And I can update my side, and then away we go. So there we are. Okay, guys, have you got that? All clear? Catch you tomorrow. We call ourselves a trading family here, or trading Marines, if you like. So I hope and welcome. See you a lot. Cheers now. There we are. Cheers. Cheers. Have you got that? Not Roger, Heather. Got that. If you missed it, we'll see us again tomorrow.